Greenwood Cemetery, Brooklyn, one of my favorite locations in the entire city. Chartered by New York in 1838, Greenwood is a 478-acre cemetery located in western Brooklyn near Prospect Park. It was actually considered Brooklyn's first public park. This is well before Prospect Park had been designed and built. As of today, it contains 600,000 graves. Space has become so limited that they actually use the stacked burial method here at Greenwood. I can genuinely say that this park is my third favorite in all of the city. Central Park first, Prospect Park second, and this is third, and it's a close third. Our first stop is located just east of the main gate. It's an obelisk that was erected to honor the victims of the Brooklyn Theater fire. On December 5th, 1876, the popular Brooklyn Theater, located at the intersection of Washington and Johnson, became engulfed during the evening performance of The Two Orphans. About 1,000 patrons were in attendance that night. The fire began stage right when a gaslight lamp caught a boarder on fire. Initially, the actors kept performing in a bid to keep the audience calm. Multiple factors played a role in this disaster. 1. There was a large audience in attendance that night. 2. A lack of exits. 3. The water bucket and fire hose that was meant for situations such as these was missing in action. While most of the bodies were so badly burned they couldn't be positively identified, conservative estimates placed the number of dead at around 300. Due to the inability of authorities to identify the human remains, it was decided that they'd all be placed in a mass grave at this location. Henry Bergh, born in 1813 and died in March of 1888, founded the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Charles Feldman was a German-American restaurateur who immigrated to the U.S. in 1856. But can you guess which legendary food item he invented? Charles is such an OG that Nathan Handwerker worked for him before he left and created his own empire, one that you're probably familiar with. Frank Morgan was an American character actor who came to prominence in the silent era of film. One of MGM's first big talents, Frank is probably best known for his most iconic role, or should I say, roles.
You saw this versatile actor as Professor Marvel and the Wizard, but who else did he play? And who was originally supposed to be the all-powerful Oz? Well, the studio wanted W.C. Fields, but negotiations broke down over money. So, the role went to Hollywood veteran Frank Morgan, who, in addition to playing the great bumbling wizard...
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain!
Threw in Professor Marvel.
Please, Professor, why can't we go with you and see all the crown heads of Europe?
Do you know any?
The gatekeeper, the carriage driver, and the sentry for good measure. Talk about your working actors.
Frank Morgan actually worked until the day he died like the legend he was. He died in 1949 after suffering a massive heart attack on the set of Annie Get Your Gun. Jean-Michel Basquiat was an American artist of Haitian and Puerto Rican descent. Born in Brooklyn in 1960, he came to prominence under the Samo graffiti collective in 1976. By 1980, he could sell a single painting for up to $25,000. Basquiat met Andy Warhol around the same time, which would result in most of their iconic collaborations. In 2013, Jay-Z and Beyonce purchased this Basquiat piece titled Mecca for $4.5 million. This piece Untitled sold for a record $110 million. In fact, Basquiat holds the record for the U.S. artist with the most valuable singular piece of art. Sadly, Basquiat struggled with sobriety, and after multiple attempts, he was found dead of a heroin overdose in 1988 at the young age of 27. It's normal practice for people visiting his grave to bring something to leave. And I kind of got caught off guard, so I'm going to just leave my lighter here. Rest in peace. Next, we come across the grave of Laura Keane. She's a British actress who was born in 1826. She's best known for being the lead actress performing in the play Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater the night that Abraham Lincoln was killed. Born in 1812, Charles Louis Tiffany was an American jewelry maker. In 1837, Charles opened a stationery shop in New York City with a classmate, initially specializing in porcelain and glassware. In the 1850s, the boys changed their name to Tiffany and Company and began to expand. At the time of his death in 1902, at the age of 90, Tiffany and Company was the most respected jewelry company in America. Louis Comfort Tiffany was born February 18, 1848. Beginning as a painter, Louis soon developed an interest in glassmaking. In 1879, himself, Candace Wheeler, Samuel Coleman, and Lockwood De Forest formed the now legendary Associated American Artists. In 1882, President Arthur commissioned Tiffany to redecorate the entire White House. Louis's development of Tiffany glass and stained glass production techniques would become his legacy. Louis would become the first design director for Tiffany & Company. Did you know that Tiffany & Company created the New York Yankee logo? Tiffany & Company was commissioned to make a Medal of Honor that was to be issued to the first NYPD police officer shot in the line of duty. The New York Yankees later adopted that logo and it became part of their uniform in 1909. As I was making my way through the cemetery, I came across this beautiful chapel that was designed by the architectural firm Warren and Wetmore. You're probably familiar with Warren and Wetmore's work. They designed a bunch of other iconic buildings here in our country, including one of my favorite buildings in the city.